true believers, and welcome back to Mike Meeple's Painting Poorly Miniature Painting Tutorials for Marvel Zombies by CMON Games. Today we're continuing our painting tutorial series with the unstoppable force that is the Juggernaut. When I think of Juggernaut, this is the image I think of, so I'll be trying to emulate these colors as much as possible. We'll be starting off by priming the model black. After that, we'll use some Hull Red by Vallejo and mix that in an airbrush with some airbrush medium by the Army Painter, spraying the models at a 45-degree angle, like the gray layer in a zenithal highlight. Next, mix together equal parts Hull Red and Orange Brown by Vallejo, along with some airbrush medium, and spray the models from directly above. Once that's all dry, it's time to start base coats. We're going to start off with the skin on the zombie model using some dead flesh by Vallejo. Use that to paint the arms and the portions of the face that you can see, and don't be afraid to apply multiple layers. For the living model, we'll be using topaz skin by the Army Painter. Next, we'll take some red by Vallejo and paint the boots and midsection of both models. After that, we'll mix together equal parts copper by Vallejo and gunmetal gray by Vallejo with some Lamian medium by Citadel. Use this mixture to paint the helmet and the metal bands around the arms and fingers. Then take some neutral gray by Vallejo to paint the rubble that he's standing on. Next, use plate mail metal by the Army Painter to paint the metallic touches on each base, like the rebar or manhole cover. And finish off the base coats by using some red by Vallejo to paint the insides of all the open wounds on the zombie model. Once that's dry, it's time for shades. We'll start off with some flesh wash by the Army Painter and apply a thin layer to the skin of the zombie model. For the living model, use soft skin wash by the Army Painter. After that, use some strong tone by the Army Painter on the helmets and metallic bands. Next, use some red tone by the Army Painter on the midsection and the boots. We'll finish off with some Nuln Oil by Citadel and applying some of that over the base. Once that's all dry, it's time for highlights and finishing touches. We'll be starting off with the zombie model and using the dead flesh to highlight the skin. Focus on the fingers and the knuckles and the portions that bulge out like the boils or the muscles. For a second highlight, we'll use Pale Flesh by Vallejo, and use that to paint a smaller portion of what you just highlighted. Moving to the living model, we'll use our topaz skin again. On the shoulders, try to paint the direction of the striations of the muscles going down the arm, and generally where the muscles bulge. You'll also want to highlight the veins and the nose and lower lip. For a second highlight, we'll use Ruby Skin by the Army Painter. Next, mix together equal parts Opal Skin by the Army Painter and Ruby Skin, and use this sparingly just to add a little more pop here and there. After that, mix together 2 parts Orange Brown by Vallejo and 1 part Hull Red to add some more highlights to the brown jumpsuit, just in a few key areas like the chest muscles and the legs and knees. Then we can use Orange Brown by Vallejo to add a little bit more pop to those same places. Now take some red by Vallejo and highlight the red portions. For a second red highlight, use Dark Vermilion by Vallejo. And for a third, use Amaranth Red by Vallejo. After that, use some white to highlight the teeth of each model and paint in the eyes, before you carefully dot the eyes of the living model with black. Next, take some Sky Gray by Vallejo and dry brush over the rubble of the bases. Finish off by painting the rim of the base, and hit it with some matte spray. To add a little gore, grab some Tamiya Clear Red and apply some to the open wounds and a few other key places. But remember, with blood, less is more. And that's it! I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons whose generous support helped me make quality content like this. And if you're interested in becoming a patron yourself, information on how to do so can be found in the description for this video, along with links to all the supplies I used today, and a link to my blog, where you'll find more tutorials for games like Marvel Zombies. And if you like this video and would like to see more, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Excelsior!